Hello YouTube, it's me Vdeogamer, and today I'm going to be drawing Dante from Devil May Cry. I've attempted to draw this character in the past before, but just to put it simply, it kind of failed, so I'm trying it again. And I already worked out sort of what I want the pose to be on another piece of paper, because I really didn't want to mess this drawing up. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to sketch that across, so we have something to work off for our drawing. So the first thing we're going to work on is Dante's face. This is going to be a little bit tricky because Dante is such a realistic character, but we're just going to walk through it, starting off with the eyes. I don't like starting off with the nose, really. Maybe not. His chin is rounded off the bottom of it. We're sort of going to draw his head coming around. Just like that. Now we're going to draw in his hair just over top of his head. We're not going to poof it out too much. See, I'm sort of losing what he looks like as I'm working on this, so I've got to be very careful. I guess I need to tilt his chin a little bit more to match his face. I'm sort of going to have his hair blowing across his face as he's running. And he's not really running in this, but he's getting ready to swing his sword into some sort of demon thing, I guess. Now, at the moment, I'm not sure what else I can change to make his face look like Dante, but I'm going to work on the rest of the body before I do anything else to the face. First off, I need to start by making his body taller, because I once again shortened him way too much. Of course, his legs aren't going to be that thick, but we just got to work on this a bit more to get this right. Going to make his legs thinner, like they're supposed to be. This is gonna start looking a lot better once I get his coat on. Then I'm not quite sure what his sword looks like at the moment, so I'm just gonna show that coming around like this. Now we're sort of going to add in the details on Dante's chest for now. That's going to be his chest right there. Drawing his six-pack going down here. You can't see all of it because the sword's blocking part of it. And then for some reason, I guess Dante has this black band going across right over this part of his chest. I don't know exactly what it's for. Just draw that in. Goes right beneath his arm. And now I'm just going to sort of sketch in his coat. Coming across his body. Sort of want to take into account all the wind. Then one sleeve of his coat seems to be rolled up along his arm. So we're going to choose to make it this one. It should be his right arm, if I'm correct. Yeah, this is looking a lot better than my last attempt. End his coat off about right there. For that arm, at least. And his coat looks pretty good for now. I'm gonna work on the pants now. Bringing them around across the knees. His pants get wider as they go down. Okay, so now we're going to draw his belt buckle, coming around just like this. Has actually a little bit of detail to it, as you can see. And we'll have his other belt coming across his leg right here. So we're gonna finish up the simple details of this character real quick. Well, not the simple details, but just the overall look of him. Start sort of finalizing the outline of his coat a bit. So I think this looks pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to do the details on his hand. Mainly drawing in the fingers, but also adding in his glove on the other side. And the details of his sword handle, I guess. And basically, his fingers are just like rectangles to start off with. And then just add in this line back here. Sort of following the same pattern as the fingers. Add a line down here, just beneath the sword handle. And that'll do for his hand. We got the sword handle right in the middle of it. And on the hilt of it, we have some spikes coming off. Alright, and then for Dante's sword, I'm looking at a picture from Google Images right now. I'm not sure if this is exactly the right one. But it's going to be sort of hard to explain all the details going on this sword. So it'd be best if you also looked at a picture yourself. So it starts out broad at the base and then sort of thins down a bit. And then as it comes to the end of the sword, it rears out again. And then it has these notches in it. It comes down to a point. Then I could get into a whole bunch of detail on his sword, but I really don't know if I want to spend all that much time on it. So I'm just gonna get the gist of it. Then his sword, it sort of has this skeletal pattern coming down across right there. Then from what I can tell here, it's got a skeleton-like face. And that skeletal pattern continues on till about this point. Just sort of cuts off and goes down. Whenever you're drawing weapons like swords and stuff like that, you really want your lines to be as straight and solid as possible, just to get it to look more dynamic. And then my original intention was for it to look like Dante was swinging his sword. So we just gotta add some lines coming off of that. Now we're gonna work on his other hand. It's pretty much going to be the same. Just need to take into account the other obstacles of the gun and the handle and how his hand would actually wrap around the gun. And we're going to have it so that you see the back of the gun but not the front. And overall, Dante is moving very quickly, so we're just going to add lines across his entire body, just to show just how fast he's moving. Now what we're going to do is we're going to outline the drawing with a ultra fine point Sharpie. Basically it's just a permanent marker with a very fine tip, and we're going to outline it and just really clean up the drawing, give it a lot more definition to the lines, and it just makes it look better overall. Then after you've outlined everything you can see of Dante, what you need to do is take your eraser and get rid of all the underlined pencil. And this is where you're really going to see the drawing just clean up. And also you'll get to see where you forgot to outline things, such as the nose right there. Whoops. Before we begin coloring Dante, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got all of these details filled in. just on his pants and stuff. Added a belt loop there to show where that starts in. Add a few more creases to the clothes. Because with characters like this, when you're drawing them like this, more is less, so. And also my picture doesn't clearly show what details are on it, so. Okay, now we're going to start coloring Dante. To start off this drawing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down a base coat color for all the colors on Dante. What I mean by that is just a simple light shade of color. Like, say for his coat, we're going to use a light red to start off with. Even though it's darker and stuff like that, this will allow me to just have a color underneath it all, make the color more even, and it also helps add in some, or like we can do a lot with it. We can shade, do all sorts of stuff. And do the same for all of the colors on Dante. And also, just to make things a little bit more simple, we're not going to do any shading on this band going across Dante's chest. Now we're going to start the shading process. This can get a little complex and confusing, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. I sort of want the lighting to be behind Dante, so that means all the shadows are going to be towards the front and to the left here. And basically what that means is we're going to color darker along these edges and sides here, away from the lighting source. And you're going to do that for basically all the colors, just in the same way that you colored them for the most part. See, these folds down here in his cape would pretty much completely be covered from the light, so we're just going to go over it with this darker shade. Then here, since the coat blocks the light coming in for the most part, except for down here, we're just going to color this side mostly black, or the dark brown that we're using. I'm sort of going to do a more step-by-step process for the shading of the sword and the gun and his hair, because those have a lot more colors in them than normal. For his sword, what you want to do first is you want to take a sort of darker gray color than what you used for the first coat. Sort of take it, color like this on this half of the sword. This will give us a darker color to work with, and it sort of helps show the difference in the sides. Take that same color, and on the other side, just take it only about right there, just where it sort of curves in and then starts to flare out at the end. Sort of going to lighten that a bit more. Then on this side, still got a lot more shading to do. Take a darker gray. Start going on with the shading like we sort of did for that one, except just darkening up all the colors on this side. And really darkening it in the center where it bends. And now for the skeleton part, what we're going to do is we're going to take our dark gray, basically do the same thing we did for the sword, except each spike on the light side also has a shadow to it as well. Sort of make that a medium shade. And then that's going to be our lightest shade on this side. We're going to take a black and fill in this part here. Sort of help out a little bit. Darken these shadows on the side. And also this part here. Then on the handle, we're just going to take the black, sort of finish up. Now we're going to color his gun, since that just about has the same sort of texture and shine to it. We'll take a dark gray. Basically get in these darker shades along the sides of the gun. And on the back side of the gun here, that's going to be mostly dark gray. Add in some blue grays just in the mix a little bit. And add a lot more shine to the tip of it. A little bit of shine to the edge of it on the back too. Just add in some different highlights and stuff like that. Then for Dante's hair, it's not quite like the metallic objects we did. It's going to be a little more coarse. It does have some shine to it, but not a whole bunch. I want to have this being the darkest side here. Whenever you're stroking across Dante's hair, you want to make sure your strokes are brisk, just really quick and dark. Add in some other colors in the midst, like this blue-gray. Adds more interest to the hair. That looks kind of gray, so we're going to lighten up the hair by taking the eraser and giving it some shine on this side, just by sort of erasing in jagged motion. Just lighten it up overall. That looks pretty great for his hair. Looks pretty good for his hair. Now we're going to just finish up the other metallic objects on Dante. These ones, you just sort of have to color them in the way that you did for the rest of the metallic objects, keeping into accordance where your light is, which is up here, and then where your shadows are, which is down here. And then to sort of even out some of these colors, like his skin tone for example, just take your base coat color and go over it again, just a little bit darker than you did before. This will really even out our colors a lot. Now for the background, I don't want to do too much. I just sort of want to throw in some colors to accentuate Dante. And just sort of add in a ground and a shadow on the ground. Sort of ground the drawing a bit. And here's my finished picture of Dante from Devil May Cry 3. I have attempted to draw this character before, and just to put it simply, it failed. Mostly because of the recording, but also I just didn't like the drawing in general, so I just decided to retry it for set 7, and I think this one turned out really, really awesome, I guess. I've actually never played Devil May Cry. I know some of you are going to be like, what, you never played Devil May Cry before? You're insane! But I might try it someday, so just look forward to that, maybe. And I hope you guys like this drawing. Subscribe if you like this drawing, because I plan on doing more drawings just like these. And you should also know that I take requests on drawings. This in itself was a request. If you want to send me a request, go to my channel, go down to the go down to the box where you can type in text, and just type in a request for me, and it just might show up as its own tutorial. So, thank you for watching this video, and until next time, keep on drawing.